with, just see how you stack up. So I think it's scheduling up. And I think in football, there's such a short lead up to your season. I mean, coming off, get ready. You know who you're playing week 1. Go do something special. However it ends on the field, you got the rest of your season, and kind of knowing I just need to go win my league, get my playoff spot, and then come back and try to beat these teams again in the playoffs.
Well, for Willamette, it starts in week 1. I mean, it's Lake Oswego, so it's number 1 versus number 3 right out of the gate on August 28th, and you'll be able to hear it right here on the Sports Animal in Eugene. We're also going to have a scoreboard show for all of the affiliates throughout the state to cover high school football with all the scores, interviews, all those things in the post game. So I do also like scheduling it. Like, you have to test yourself and your team. There are coaches, though, and I think it led more possibly maybe in basketball. Justin, you can jump in here. Is that you want to get your team some confidence, so you're going to schedule against someone who you feel like you can handle, just because you have to work out the nuance. In football, man, it's just like you should blast out of the gate. All right. Well, it's a good conversation. General, I will see you in a couple hours out at PK Park at Foul Territory. Your last official duty as Oregon Club past president. Right now you're past president, used to be president. And you've really screwed me, by the way. I'm just going to tell you. I'm going to say it out loud for everybody to know. Jeff Oliver totally hosed me as I'm the new president of the Oregon Club. And we're going to have a record check tonight that he's going to deliver to Oregon coaches. And now I have to try and match that. So thanks, buddy.
We were just talking about scheduling. I just set you up.
Cover the ducks and beefs, but we bring the receipts. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
All right.
All bets are on at the Three Rivers Casino Resort Sportsbook in Florence.
So Laura told me my mic isn't working, which I don't really have any good.
Now, hold on a second. We need to adjust so come in here and help me adjust the mic settings again for this.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, see, that's why I got it. Yeah, okay, so just do that.
Then catch the action.
New Start, Lane County's best selection with hundreds of rolls of carpet and thousands of feet of click-together flooring on display and in stock right now at unbeatable prices. Come see us today at Dalton Carpet, right here on West 11th in Eugene.
Almost every car made over the last 10 years has a camera. Did you know that when you replace a windshield, the camera needs recalibrated? If your glass provider doesn't fix the camera, you could have issues with safety features like forward collision alert, adaptive cruise control, or emergency braking. Don't trust some guy in a truck to fix or replace your windshield and then have to make a second appointment to calibrate your camera. You need Olson's Auto Glass, 2041 West 7th Avenue in Eugene. Olson's Auto Glass, repairing windshields since 1938.
Having a place to go after school will make you a better student. Having an outlet to express yourself will make you a better artist. Having something to do together will make you a better family. At the Y, we're helping build better friends, listeners, writers, swimmers, scientists, and musicians, one chance at a time. Give the gift of opportunity. Support the Y at ymca.net. The Y, for a better us.
Hey Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
KORE Springfield, Eugene, 1050 AM. Translated on 275CX 1029 FM. This is the Sports Animal, Eugene.
Hour number 2 on the program. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Sports Animal Audio Network. This is The Drive. We're live in Klamath Falls. We're live in Douglas County and Roseburg and Winston, Tule Lake, and on the coast in Toledo and Newport, South Beach, Seal Rock, and then in
South Beach in Oregon.
Yeah,
it's not Miami.
You realize it?
No, I don't
No,
know
there's just
Oregon that
something-
well. For somebody that's lived here
Are
for
you
like 10 years,
serious right now? You've got
serious.
it's just right over the bridge in
I need to have
Newport
that
is
drop.
South Beach. It's
Really?
beautiful.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
I gotta head to South Beach sometime.
had a baby. And then obviously in the valley, we've got you covered. Eugene, Springfield, Cresswell, Cottage Grove, up towards Albany, Sweet Home, Marcola, Mohawk, Elmira, Veneta. I could keep listing them off. Thanks for tuning in to The Drive. Hour number 2. Great conversation with our dear friend, the General, Jeff Oliver. Big announcement as Tracktown USA going to host the 2028 U.S. Olympic Trials. You heard it here, kids. That is going to be the 10th time they've done it. And you will see the stars of the Olympiad in L.A. right here in Eugene. And the record of success that they've had celebrating and selecting America's best continues at Hayward Field, the 2028 Olympic Trials. 6-day event in June of 2028. It'll be the 17th through the 22nd. Tickets will be on sale soon, I'm sure. I don't know. They might be. Okay, this hour, Yogi Roth's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Your phone calls, welcome. If you're new to the program, welcome. Thanks for lending us your ears for a few moments on your day. Hopefully we make it a little bit lighter and brighter. 541-844-3484 is the Oregon Man Clinic's hotline, live from the Bigfoot Beverages studios here in Eugene at the mothership. Toll free 877-844-3484. You can chime in and say hello to us. Or you can also go on the YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter. We've got a chat box there. You can list your comments out and we'll throw them up on the air and we can talk about them as well. So anything you want to discuss, we are open phones until we get Yogi Roth at the bottom of the hour. We'll talk about Ohio State moving senior day to week 1 to avoid a Michigan distraction. The Portland Fire are still in fuego as they are now winners of 4 of their last 6 as they won the other night against the Mercury, and they are now off until, I believe, Friday, Baby J, right? Is it Friday? I believe so.
See.
I believe it's
Friday
against
at
the
7
Tempo.
o'clock.
At the Tempo, right here in the Valley on the Sports Animal. Kurt Signetti, next hour. He's got comments about Notre Dame. Okay. Preseason injuries. Marcus Mariota goes down, and he'll be out for the rest of the preseason, which is 2 more weeks. Which team has been affected so far? Because everybody's been touched a little bit. Tommy John passes away. What his legacy was. Joshua Baez against our Cubs. 3 home runs, first 3 at-bats at Wrigley Field. Let's sign him right away. Let's see if we can wrest him away from the Cardinals. And Jamarcus Shepard audio coming up in this second. So we like Jamarcus Shepard. Very effusive. Yeah, he's an engaging individual. I like the energy. He's going to need it. I want to see how he's going to sustain that energy throughout the first 3 weeks of the Oregon State football season, because he's got a murderer's road to start. He's got Houston on the road, Texas Tech at home, and then Montana. And those are 3 tough games. Now, you say, well, really, Danny, Montana? Yes, Montana. They are an FCS perennial semifinal national championship winner. That's a good football team. And they're going to come in loaded for bear. If they can go in and knock off, I don't care who it is, at what level, for an FBS school, that's exactly what they want to do. So, yes, it is going to be a tough 3 first weeks for Jamarcus Shepard. So, as we take a peek behind the curtain, because it's hard right now, Baby J, as we all know, all these coaches are closing off practices. They're limiting the media availabilities except for where it's controlled for themselves. So, I mean, if you had to go, if I said, Baby J, you need to go up to Corvallis.
You could say this, by the way.
Okay, Baby
This is
J,
absolutely in your power.
you need to go up to Corvallis tomorrow and get me some sound bites.
Yeah.
And they have it in a sanitized, controlled environment. How would you go? I mean, how would you go after this? Would you kind of try and follow players as they walk to the locker room and see if you can get them to talk to you as you walk away?
It's not my style.
Okay, so how would you do it?
Well, you can only do what they allow, right?
You only can do what you can do.
You can only do what you can do. And I'm sure it's one of those things where if you start trying to get those players as they're walking off, I don't think the SIDs are going to like it very much. They're not going to allow you back.
Oh, no, they won't.
No. So I think that it's one of those things where these football teams just all across the nation at this point, they control the narrative as much as they can. And there's certainly some things with Oregon State where, especially right now, there's a reason why it's Jamarcus Shepard that's the one that gets the media availability today, right? Because there was a few things that they wanted to talk about, that the media wanted to talk about today, which we'll get into in a second, that are kind of difficult questions to answer. And they've got to have somebody answering those questions. Jamarcus Shepard's a pretty good one to do it.
Is Malik Murphy the quarterback?
Well,
is he going to be the quarterback? I mean, listen, last year, everybody thought he was. Come over from Duke, pay him a lot of money. He's going to be Trent Bray's savior. Didn't work out that way at all. It wasn't even close.
Well, what I'll say, and I say it the other day, is that he's the most important player on the team. Is he going to be the best player? I'm not sure. But I think that any scenario where the Beavers have a significantly better season than projected, it's going to be Malik Murphy coming in after a rough season last year. Didn't have the greatest last season. I mean, it was an okay season at Duke, but not anything super spectacular. Really building off of what he's done, which last year, quite honestly, wasn't much. So it's going to be interesting. We want to hear the comments.
Yeah, I do. But I'll just say this. Most college football teams, how your quarterback goes is how you go. So this is not unique
unless
to Oregon
you define
State.
Your offense in a different way. For instance, a team like Wisconsin in the past, they always built through the offensive line and the running back. I mean, even the Beavers did that, where you needed a game manager.
Nebraska did that forever with a wishbone offense,
right?
But it was still triggered by the quarterback. The guy who's going to touch the ball on there's only 2 guys that are going to touch the ball pretty much on every single play on offense. It's your center. He's not going to get a lot of yards. And your quarterback. Everybody else, it all runs through your quarterback. So Jamarcus Shepard talks about the tight quarterback race.
You know what? I'll tell you what, there are Brady Jones over the last couple of days has really taken a leap forward because of how he's just owning the offense in terms of attacking. He's downfield making blocks while guys are running with the football in his hands, and I got to tell him to stop doing that so he doesn't get hurt. Malik has his moments where he's really, really taking command of the offense. I'll tell you what, guys, it's a pretty tight race right now. It's a really tight race, and so I'm looking forward to seeing who emerges over this next week and a half.
We're going to hear from Angie Machado later on this week. She does a weekly segment with us here on The Drive on Thursdays. She gave a little bit of a hint that she thinks, and now once I heard that quote, once I heard that comment, I don't think Malik Murphy is going to be your day one starter. I don't think he's going to be the day, unless something wildly different happens. I think Jamarcus Shepard might be going a different direction at quarterback at Oregon State.
Yeah, you never know, but it was something about the way that she was talking about it.
And what I just heard from him.
Right. No, I mean, it definitely seems like this is not a clear-cut favorite type of thing. As I said, I think if it was me, I would want Malik Murphy to win the race. I want him to win the job.
Why?
Because he has the highest ceiling. He's got the biggest arm.
But we don't know
the height.
much about this other kid, though.
I'm not saying that you don't. He might just be better, but I am saying in terms of just traits, in terms of what you want in a quarterback.
No, I see it
physically. Malik Murphy's got that. The other guys, I'm not saying they're not that, but they don't have the potential that he does. I'd want him to win if he did earn it. Obviously, if he doesn't earn it, he doesn't earn it. So that's what I think is fascinating about this race, is that it seems like, I mean, even just if you go into the monetary side, I think he's getting paid $2 million for this year.
I don't care about that.
It matters for a team like Oregon State.
So I'm just
doesn't
saying,
matter for a team like Oregon. It does for Oregon State.
You can look the part, but you got to do the part.
I'm totally with you.
That's so when I hear a coach saying, I got to hold this guy back because he's down there throwing blocks, and it's just like, and then you hear the guys, yeah, he has some good moments. To me, it's like, that's some shade. I mean, I might be reading way too much into it.
It's hard to say.
Really, because we don't know Jamarcus Shepard yet. That might just be the coach speak. It might be him motivating Malik Murphy to go, you know what? I know you're hearing my comments in the media, and I know what I'm saying to you in the locker room. It's time to take control, which is great. Get some ownership. So I think it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks before, and he's going to name a starter. We don't even know Jamarcus Shepard's too deep. That's been much, talked about here on The Drive and others. Thanks for tuning in to the Sports Animal Audio Network online, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We are live here in Roseburg, in Klamath Falls, in Newport, and in the Willamette Valley.
Okay, so this next quote that we've got from Jamarcus Shepard, he does address the Aiden
Sullivan
situation.
Yeah.
I just want to add, this was basically the third question he got about it. So the first two, he basically said it's an ongoing situation.
Yeah.
I don't want to answer anything about it. He was asked in a slightly different way to describe how the rules, basically, there are things that
they're trying to navigate it.
They're trying to navigate it, basically. So
Yeah.
these are comments about how he's trying to navigate it in terms of the rules.
We have wrapped our arms around Aiden Sullivan to give him the best chance to go out there and perform his job the way that he's supposed to. We live in a world where, you know what, if all of us were defined by the worst thing that we had ever done, none of us would probably have many opportunities. I know I wouldn't. If I was judged on the worst thing I've done, I probably wouldn't have this opportunity to be here as a head coach at Oregon State. And so we've told him to just worry about doing your job. And that's what I'm doing my job.
I love that, by the way. That's humanity. That's empathy. That's what a coach should be. And for anybody out there listening, it's very easy off of a piece of paper or a report to go, let's ring them up. Let everything play out. I've said this so many times, Justin, you know this, is that let the process work its way out. I mean, Oregon's dealing with it with Rashad Samples right now and the DUI, reckless driving allegations and such. They say they've dealt with it internally. And I will never, ever condone violence against another human being, ever. But we don't know the situation. We were not there. You have to trust that the process is going to work its way out. So I wish the best for Aiden Sullivan. If he needs to take a different path, let him do that. I think Jamarcus Shepard is going to deal with this the best way he can for the Oregon State program and not bring any shade to them. So love that comment, by the way. Just the way he handled that. That was the way to go. So he's impressing me, man. Jamarcus Shepard's impressing me right now. He's the guy that Corvallis has needed for the last 5 years. Seriously.
He has. And I think that a big part of it is his ability to deal with the media. I think that something you said earlier is interesting about his comments and how they might be a motivating factor for a Malik Murphy. We don't know yet. We don't know how much he is going to use the media as a tool, right? I think that Dan Lanning's figured this out, how to use the media as a tool. We've seen things change because of Dan Lanning's comments. So I think that it's interesting with Jamarcus Shepard. We don't really know. It could be a ploy,
right. Yeah.
but we also just don't know how he's going to use the media. I would guess, though, that he is the type that understands the power of media, understands that.
Well, coming from Alabama, coming from the SEC, right. You want to talk about a microscope.
The thing about media is what happens on media is reality, in a lot of ways. And that doesn't mean that perception isn't reality, because we create that perception through the media, but it is something that I don't think every single coach knows how to do. I do think he is one of those coaches.
Sports Animal
that does know how to use it.
Yeah. Sports Animal EUG is on all the socials. SportsAnimalEUG.com is our website here in the Valley. And you are locked in wherever you're at on Klamath Falls, AM 960 Sports, down there in Roseburg and Douglas County on 1490 AM 92.3 FM, and of course in Newport at 92.7 FM, Fox Sports Newport, and in the Valley here on the Sports Animal Audio Network in Eugene. From the Bigfoot Beverages Studios, this is 102.9 FM, 1050 AM, KORE. So as we keep moving forward, still in this hour, Yogi Roth's going to join us. And we're going to race through a couple more audio cuts from Jamarcus Shepard. And, of course, the 5 for 5. So 5 years when you start in the collegiate ranks, the ruling came down from the courts to say you got 5 years to play. So basically awarding a lot of different players another year of eligibility. And that impacts Oregon State with a couple of guys. We'll hear from Jamarcus Shepard about that in just a moment, and how they're back into practicing right now, as both those players could have an impact on Oregon State as they move forward within the season. A little bit later on this hour, we'll talk about the Portland Fire and their win the other night against the Mercury on Diana Taurasi on her parade. And next hour, Kurt Cignetti, preseason injuries in the NFL. Tommy John passes away, and a big event for a rookie at Wrigley Field. We'll discuss that as well. So let's get to Patterson and Wells on their impact. Jamarcus Shepard talks about the 5 for 5 players coming back to the fold.
As of right now, they've been cleared to practice, so I'm practicing them. And so Jaheim, he is a smart football player, man. I've been very, very impressed with him. He's putting a lot of pressure already on the guys in the room, and he just got back with us. He's putting a lot of pressure. I sat in that safety meeting. He's putting a lot of pressure on those guys to know exactly each and every alignment and detail of their position. And so it's been pretty impressive. And then Bam, again, these guys have a lot of playing experience, so really, really smart football player. He's got to get his conditioning going, and so we're trying to do that to help him get in shape so that he can be prepared when the time comes for him to go into the game. But he's a guy that already is picking up the offense at a very, very rapid pace. And so I'm excited about what those two guys can really do to improve this football team.
Jaheim Patterson and Fan Wells is who Jamarcus Shepard's talking about, and we'll hear from him in a second about how he's handling on whether or not Patterson and Wells are going to get their first team reps as they return to practice.
Well, that's what I thought was interesting, right? Because it was brought up about, okay, so if you have a guy that his eligibility is in question and you think that he's going to play, you want to get him first team reps. That being said, if he isn't eligible, then all of a sudden you had reps that were available for other players to use with the first team that just essentially were wasted at that point. So the question to Jamarcus Shepard was, how are you balancing that?
I mean, it's a great question. I think it goes both ways, really. If you don't give them enough reps, then they're not ready for the first game. If you give them too many and something happens, then you took reps away from somebody else. The good part about it is we started camp without them. And so some of these guys have gotten a ton of reps already. And so we kind of have an idea of where they're at their particular positions. It's good for us now to kind of see if there's an improvement by having those guys in the game. And so, yeah, we're going to give them some first team reps, but not all the first team reps. But so is the case for all of our players. We really want to rotate them between the 1s, the 2s, and 3s and see, hey, are you going to make that group that you're going with a little bit better?
All right, so that's Jamarcus Shepard as Oregon State moves their way closer to their opening game against the Houston Cougars, as we like to call it here on the Sports Animal, the Planet Houston Cougars. Ohio State moves senior day to week 1. Are they playing possum against Michigan? We'll talk about it next here on the Sports Animal Audio Network and The Drive.
Don't change the channel. Your radio might explode. Okay, not really. But you miss a minute of The Drive, you might miss something, well, spectacular.
On we go.
The Drive is back on 102.9 FM and 1050 AM. The Sports Animal.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is on now at Kendall Ford. Get to Kendall and get 0% APR, $1,000 towards your down payment, and even a complimentary 2-year premium maintenance plan. Available on select new 2026 Ford models. Get up to $11,000 in discounts off MSRP on all remaining 2025 Super Duty trucks. A new 4-wheel drive 2025 Ford Bronco Sport Heritage is priced at only $29,990. Or get into a new all-wheel drive 2026 Ford Maverick XL Crew Cab, now just $29,630. Get in on the Ford Summer Sales Event and stop by Kendall Ford today. Kendall, let's start something great.
VIN number 1FSED 79864, 3F SRF 02030, and 3F PRB 01616. Financing and approved credit $27.78 per month per $1,000 finance. See dealer for qualifications. A complete list of eligible vehicles, coverage details, and limitations. All factory rebates subject to change. Price does not include title registration or tax. Subject to prior sales. See dealer for details. Offer expires 8/31/26.
I've seen it. I've covered it. I'm Alex Rogers, your local farmer's agent in West Eugene. When you need auto, home, life, or business insurance, Farmers can help you protect everything you've worked so hard to achieve. I really enjoy what I do, and I can help you understand all your coverage options. When I'm your Farmers agent, you're not stuck at the mercy of some computer. I'm your advocate when you need help. Visit my office today at 1154 Garfield Street here in Eugene, or give me a call at 541-284-2804.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
And I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game. So I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in Oregon at highschoolofficials.com.
Snakes, zombies, sharks, heights, speaking in public. The list of fears is endless. But while you're clutching your blanket in the dark, wondering if that sound in the hall was actually a footstep, the real danger is in your hand, when you're behind the wheel. And while you might think a great white shark is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Sometimes they're right.
Rest my case.
Sometimes they're wrong.
You want answers. The truth. You can't handle the truth.
But no ears were harmed in the making of their disagreements.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Quick segment here, and then we'll have Yogi Roth coming up bottom of the hour here on The Drive. Thanks for hanging out. Lend us your ears, friends, Romans, countrymen, wherever you're at. Sports Animal Audio Network live and ready to go. We're lighting it up in Klamath Falls and in Roseburg. So we've got Klamath County and Douglas County covered now, along with Lincoln County out there in Newport. You didn't realize I knew that. It's Lincoln County, Newport. Y'all see, you're looking at me right now, Baby J, and I know you didn't know that. So
I actually did know it was Lincoln County.
You did know it was Lincoln County?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really? I did. Do you know why I know
Well,
that?
you don't know where South Beach was.
I did not. I get the news every day from Lincoln County.
Why? Oh, yes, you do. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Because, okay. No,
get it.
It literally just clicked in my brain just 2
That's how I
seconds
knew
after
it was
that.
Lincoln County.
Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in. Our phone number, the Oregon Man Clinks hotline. Please call in if you'd like to converse with us. We're not scary.
We really are.
We're actually very kind.
Very approachable.
541-844-3484. We're just like a soft puppy dog. 877-844-3484. 877-844-3484. Save it on your phones because you're going to want that when we start doing our contest. So real quick, Ohio State's moving their senior day to week 1 to avoid Michigan distractions.
Yeah. Do you want me to take the lead on this?
So please do, because I'm perplexed by this. Senior day is like, it's the tradition. It's the last home game of the regular season, always.
100%.
Why are you? And because you're playing Michigan at home this year, that you're moving the quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes, distraction away from the game. Aren't you cheating those seniors of having a special moment with Michigan in town?
Well, that's my question. Is that
I would be offended if I was a player.
I'm with you. That's the moment I want, right? You want to have your big moment on senior day against Michigan. I don't see how it's a distraction at all. I also think
who's the knucklehead who came up with this idea?
I'm not sure. It doesn't say what I'm reading, but here's the thing.
Well, they're not going to take credit for it.
You're going to honor them the first game of the season, right? Before they've even played a snap. So that doesn't make any sense, first of all. But then the thing about the reason why you have a senior day is because there's an emotional tie when you're playing your last game. That's the whole point. Is
of a
you want
senior
to
day.
honor those guys and make them.
Why don't we just hand out
them.
cap and gowns on September 13th for all the seniors?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. So to me, this almost speaks to the idea that I think that Michigan's still a little bit in the head of Ohio State a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Ryan Day, absolutely.
I mean, let's not forget, Ryan Day won a national championship after losing to Michigan last week of the season, which everybody thought he was going to get fired. Every single person in the world
thought he was
maybe
going.
except for Ryan Day. And then they won the national championship. And so clearly
and saved his job for a couple more years.
He was gone. I'm telling you, he was absolutely out of there. So I think that there's something correlating here between Michigan and the fear that they've instilled in this program, because that loss that Ohio State had on that day was one of the biggest upsets that I can remember in a long time.
It was a low-scoring slugfest.
Something like that, maybe 13-14. It was so close, and I just remember it was kind of what, it was. I believe that was what put Oregon into the Big Ten title game in that first season, because
it was one of the things.
Basically,
it was one of the things.
So it just was a fascinating loss that I think the trajectory was all altered because of Ohio State winning the national championship. But
and that helped
clearly scars.
That helped bring Chip Kelly to Columbus.
It did.
After that, because they were like, the offense is not working like this, so we need to get a guru. And Chip Kelly came, and they won. They won
the next year. Or sorry,
no, that was the year. That was the
they
year
already had Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was back.
Sorry, we're figuring this out.
Yeah, as we go along. So,
but I would want my senior day, if you're Oregon, right? Like, you want your senior day to be against Washington, to have that be the game that you win, you get the dubs down at the end.
That would not fly in Eugene.
I don't think it would.
Senior day on the opening day of the
Are they
season.
just going to actively avoid talking about it? Like, this is what I don't understand. Are they just going to say, well, just another game, guys?
I don't know.
No
They're-
appreciation.
They're a little goofy in Columbus.
They
at
are.
times. Yeah,
They are.
A little nutso.
But they're number one, apparently.
Yeah, according to preseason polls. All right. I would like to hear Yogi Roth's opinion on preseason polls. I think Yogi's with me.
I think we already know.
Yeah, I think we do too. But let's hear from him. We call him the governor. Big Ten Network. He's going to be doing a lot of stuff with NBC Sports this fall. He's our friend. He's the Y option. Former USC guy as well. Pete Carroll. He's got him on speed dial. So why wouldn't we have Yogi Roth on next, right here on the Sports Animal Audio Network and The Drive? Stay tuned.
Nothing is too big for the sports animal to handle. That's what she said. You're home for me, Dan Patrick, 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays, and The Drive with Danny, Steve, and Justin from 3 to 6. This is the sports animal.
Summer, the sun, the sand. How could things be any better? Actually, you know what sounds kind of good? Chicken bones. Yeah. That would make things better. All you could eat wings for $27.95 and dollar beers from Cold Fire Cold Store? That would really make things better. Ooh, and the sauces. The sauces are to die for. In fact, now I'm kind of hungry. Oh, man. Now I need to go to Chicken Bones.
Make no bones about it. Chicken Bones has the best wings in Lane County. All you can eat wings, great sauces, and awesome burgers. Open daily at 11 a.m. on Pioneer Parkway in the Safeway Center. Check us out on Facebook or call 541-726-0111. That's 541-726-0111. Chicken Bones, chicken with an attitude.
CCP number 195698. JT Bailey here, owner-operator of All County Garage Door, Eugene Springfield's independent and locally owned garage door experts. Looking to upgrade your home's curb appeal, thermal efficiency, safety, and security? A new garage door checks all those boxes, and All County Garage Door is here to help. From new doors, new operators, and any and all garage door operator repair, we have you covered. And with a 15-year reputation of top-quality work and top-notch customer service, you can count on us. Give us a call at 541-521-8986 or visit us at allcountygaragedoor.com.
Beaver Nation, everything we do is about building something bigger for our student athletes, for our fans, for everyone who believes in Oregon State football. Championship programs aren't built alone. It takes all of us, the fans, the alumni, the community, locked in together. Pack Research Stadium this fall and be part of the next chapter of Beaver football. Season tickets, mini plans, and single game tickets are available now. Visit beavertickets.com or call 1-800-GO-BEAVS. Build with us. Go Beavs!
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works.
Call 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107.
Consolidated Credit Solutions Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Kansas CSO 0019051. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 892. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation Commission, license number TC83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debt may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action. Actual interest rates, length of program, and monthly payment reductions will vary by consumer and creditor. Yours could be higher or lower. Not a loan company. We do not lend money.
1050 AM and 1029 FM and the sportsanimaleugene.com. Broadcasting from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Kurt Signetti has some things to say about Notre Dame. Shocking. Hear about that next hour. You're locked into the Sports Animal Audio Network. We are live in Klamath Falls, live in Douglas County, Roseburg, surrounding areas, Myrtle Creek. Hello there, my friends in Winston. Welcome. Our first day with our friends at KSKR and KWRZ, and also on the coast. Hello, Toledo. Hello, Newport. Hello, Seal Beach. Fox Sports Newport 92.7 FM. And, of course, in the Valley, in Eugene, Springfield, Crestwell, Cottage Grove, Harrisburg, Brownsville. We got you covered. Junction City, hey, Tigers. We are live here on 102.9 FM, 1050 AM. And let's head on over to the Oregon Man Clinics hotline. Toll free at 877-844-3484, live from the Bigfoot Beverages Studio. He is our dear friend. He's going to be on weekly with us. He is the voice of college football for us. It's the great Yogi Roth. We call him the governor. What up, my man? How are you? Is Yogi there? Let's see.
I think so.
Oh, Yogi?
All right, we'll try him again.
Okay, that's right. We'll get him back. Okay. Get him back. Get him back on the phone. I can vamp for a second. That was a great intro. Man, some things, technology is a wonderful thing, kids. The Portland Fire, as I said, we talk about that. Joshua Baez hits 3 home runs, first 3 at-bats at Wrigley Field. Not for the Cubs. We'll talk about that next hour as well. The Oregon Man Clinics hotline, normally open for you, but we're going to tie it up in a minute. at 541-844-3484 here in Eugene. Toll free 877-844-3484. It is the Bigfoot Beverages Studios and the Sports Animal Audio Network. We're awaiting our dear friend Yogi Roth. I'm not going to do the entire intro all over again, but I know we're going to have Yogi on in just a few minutes or a few seconds, actually, as we get ready. Here we go again. I think, Justin, we got him now. We got him this time.
I think so.
I hope so. Yogi, you there?
Hi, guys.
Hey, bud.
Here.
There you are. Okay.
There we go.
All right,
There we
man.
go.
So I said you are the voice of college football for us. You, the Big Ten Network and NBC, you're doing a lot of stuff with those guys this year. How's the summer been? I mean, this has got to be great for you because now we're getting into it, man. You got NFL preseason football and camps are fall practices are going on. We got preseason polls. It feels like we're revving up right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, man, it's awesome. I'm all over the Midwest. I spent my morning in Ames, Iowa, hanging out with Jimmy Rogers and Iowa State, which was really fun. Really fun staff, fun team, and drove across. And here I am in Iowa City, going to see Iowa and Coach Ferentz and Tim Lester and that crew tomorrow morning, which I'm excited about because I always think they're impressive and I think their offense. Can't wait to watch it because, if they get that right, look out, college football playoff, because we know how physical and scheme they run.
Yeah.
And then I'll drive to Bloomington and fly to Penn State, and then I'll go home and then just lock in for first couple games of the season on the air with NBC.
Follow him on the Y Option, I do, and then at Yogi Roth on the socials. He joins us, and he'll be with us weekly throughout the balance of the college football season. Yogi, so can we start with Jimmy Rogers, because I think it's fascinating with Matt Campbell jumping up and moving to State College with Penn State, and Jimmy Rogers coming over. It's a good young coach. He's got all that energy and all of that juice behind him. So, I mean, what was the vibe there in Iowa State?
It was great. I think anytime there's a rebuild, or whatever you want to call it, a new coach comes in. I mean, they have 83 new players. You have an endeavor, right? And congrats to you and everything that you've started. You referenced Y Option. I started that a couple years ago. If you said to me I had to do that every year, I'd say no thanks. So he goes to Pullman and had to navigate that and think about those young athletes who have had 3 coaches in 3 years. And, there's no shortage of drama there, on and off the field, as we know. And then, for Jimmy, he goes to Iowa State and Matt Campbell, who's, so impressive. He takes pretty much their best players with him to Penn State. And to piece a team together in a matter of a week and a half is a challenge, let alone build your own staff. So I think net out, when I walked out of there, I said, okay, this team is going to be really solid. I don't know if there's who's the first round draft pick. I didn't necessarily see that, but I didn't see a team that looked all over the place. I think there might be some secret sauce to these new programs, new coaches, where you got 83 new guys. Nobody knows anybody. So you have 2 options. You can either connect or you could become factions. And when you have a coach like Jimmy and guys that have been around it like they have, an NFL offensive coordinator, they got good staff. There's no option B, and this team has become really connected. It hasn't been easy, but I think they're going to be a really solid team. They'll be a real hard out, much like Wazoo was last year. I mean, They took Ole Miss to the wire. They took Virginia to the wire. They took JMU to the wire. You could argue they had opportunities to win all 3 of those in year one. I think that'll be Iowa State this season, and I get to be on the broadcast team in week 2 when they play at Iowa and Cyhawk. So I can't wait, man. I've never been a part of that game, and it's one of the great rivalries in our sport. So to be in the Midwest has been a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, by the way, are you getting used to saying the Monster Energy Big 12 Conference? Is that something you have to say every time?
We do.
We do it every time.
I love that. I don't think I will. I saw somebody on their staff this morning. I said, "What are you drinking?" And he turned it and showed me the logo, and he's like, "It's Monster." And I said, "It's that time of camp where you kind of need that jolt of caffeine, and it's really humid, as well as there's great product placement." So, getting creative is always, to me, something that you want to celebrate. That one's easy to obviously take shots at for a bunch of reasons, but they're doing what they got to do, man. So
that's right.
I will not drink one. I will not touch one. I won't be able to talk, bro. I'll be too smooth if I had a sip.
I can imagine Yogi Roth on some energy drinks. Listen, if they want to be called the Monster Energy Big 12, we're going to call them the Monster Energy Big 12. That's,
tongue in cheek.
That's our
We're fine.
that's our thought on it.
You should. You know the fun story about Monster. When I was on vacation with our family this summer, and our son is like, he's always wanted to try it, and I'm always like, no, dude, like you're gonna have a heart attack. You're gonna get diabetes. Like, don't do it. And he got one. And I said, all right, go for it. And he was like, after 2 sips, he's like, this. It's like when you're a kid and you have a sip of beer and you're like, this is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, right.
He lived that life. So we're not sponsoring that.
Good. I think that was well handled by you then. So I want to flip it to the other side of that Cy-Hawk rivalry with Iowa, where you're going to talk to the Iowa head coach tomorrow, Kirk Ferentz. It sounds like this is an interesting team to me because it always feels like they're at the same spot every year.
9-3.
They're never that team that you're going to look at and go undefeated, but they're always really, really good. Is there an upward trajectory for this program in some way?
Yeah, I think there's also a perception of this program in some way. Everybody wants to talk about the SEC, and I love lighting up the South. You guys have known that for years.
Oh,
I
yeah.
enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But the facts of it is, everybody said, Iowa, you expand the playoff. Why would they get in as a 9-win team? And then you watch what they did in the bowl game against an SEC team. I think that, and I'm guilty of this too. When I was calling Pac-12 games and you watch Iowa play on TV and you'd see a 17-7 game, you're like, oh, what's going on? Like, that can't be that fun. But when you call it, and I've lived this league now for over 2 years, I've been at Iowa a handful of times. I've got to know this staff and Tim Lester, their OC, and Kirk Ferentz, the Pittsburgh guy, really well. It's a hard out, man. You guys felt it last year when the Ducks went there.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and barely escaped without the magic of Dante Moore and that throw down the right sideline. They don't win that game.
Right.
I think they would go down if they had to host a couple teams from the SEC that think that they would roll. They'd get drilled, just like it happened in the bowl game.
Yeah.
So I think there's a perception around really this league, around the middle of the league, if you want to put Iowa in the top middle, if you will, or the bottom top third, that people around the country don't realize how hard of a out they are, me included, until I got into the league. So I'm not throwing blame at everybody. Like I live that too, but it is a physical, consistent outfit. I will go to practice tomorrow. I can't wait to just watch them. They will have their offensive line and they will just go left. I'm making it simple, and they will just run on train tracks, and that's outside zone. It's why they're always the finalists for the Joe Moore Award. They'll do the same thing to the right, and they will have athletic, physical, not overweight, out of shape offensive linemen just pound you all game long. And it's 3-yard gain. And then in the third, fourth quarter, it's a 40-yard gain. Game over. That's how they play. Now, are they better? I think they will be. My gut says that this past game, because they run pro style, think of Shanahan, McVay offense. And there's very few teams in this league whose quarterbacks get under center and turn their back to the defense. Washington does it. Minnesota does it. Iowa does it. Very few teams will do this. They just don't have. Penn State will do a version of it. Not many do it. Rutgers at times, but not really. I'm curious to see what UCLA looks like. I say that because I think it makes it much more challenging to defend if you have a quarterback and wideouts that can spin it. They've improved to me in the wideout element. That's where I'm going to go first tomorrow. They bring in a couple transfers that I think have a chance, in Tony Diaz and Evan James. I talked to the coaches at Furman earlier this week. That's where he transferred from. He's an absolute baller. So they've gotten better there. This offense is real, so I think that's only going to get better. We know what the defense is. We know what the run game is. And then you look at the schedule, Michigan, Ohio State, Washington, Minnesota, back-to-back. Not easy, but their style of play, they can go to Michigan and win with that. Can they host Ohio State, where dreams go to die, probably in a night game, and beat them?
Yeah.
Yeah, they sure can.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying they're going to go undefeated, but to think they're not a playoff caliber team, if they can spin it, in my eyes, tomorrow would just be wrong. And I think much like Washington is a fringe playoff team, I think Iowa is the same deal.
So since the expanded college football playoff, Iowa is one of those teams that has not made it. I've got them as one of my dark horses that they could be that next team that gets into that playoff round. And we're with Yogi Roth. He is a husband, a father, and gives a uniquely curious sight line for college football. And if you're not subscribed to the Y option, you're doing yourself a disservice, because it goes right into your inbox and your email. You can consume the content, a unique perspective, and it's a West Coast slant as well. So all that stuff in the Midwest and the South that everybody wants to flood the media with, ESPN, is a different take with Yogi. And so that's why we appreciate having him on here on the Sports Animal and the Drive. So Yogi, as Iowa starts to punch up and other teams, you've been through a lot of the camps already, and you've got a few more to get to before you get home. Are you finding a theme? Are you finding the I guess the seam of where the Big Ten might be this year? Because I mean, everyone wants to say it's the Big Three still, or Big Four. It's Ohio State, it's Indiana, it's Oregon. Then people are saying, Michigan and Penn State are punching up. USC's got a real shot this year. Lincoln Riley is kind of pushing all of his chips in the middle. Are you seeing and get a sense of how competitive the Big Ten's going to be now?
Yeah, I think it's, you think of the NFL, and I've called this many times at Y Option, like NFL light, this league. I think it is.
Yeah.
And why do I say that? Like, it's not just because guys are making money, but I start with the coaching. Look at the 4 additions in this league, and I love coaches. I'm not saying anybody who's a head coach in another league isn't good. They're clearly gifted. But when I look at Kyle Whittingham, Matt Campbell, Bob Chesney, and Pat Fitzgerald as the 4 additions, it's just not close, compared to the other additions in the other league. And then you look at the existing coaches and how tight some of these games are. I mean, last year, I think it was 31 games in league play were decided by a score or less. My gut says that's only going to go up. Okay,
really?
Why?
Wow.
The floor only got better. Like, Ryan Brown only got better at Purdue. Rutgers now is fully in the NIL world. They paid KJ Duff $2 million. I had him on my podcast. We talked exactly about it.
Wow.
He's the best receiver in this league, not named Jeremiah Smith. UCLA has real money. They're not just playing at rev share. They're playing much more than that. Like, they're retaining players. They're paying players. Like, they've gotten better. Wisconsin has gotten improved. They were struggled obviously last year. Illinois is a 10-win team the last couple of years. Double-digit wins. They're knocking on the door of it. Maryland. If you said to me, pick a quarterback, and in 5 years in the NFL, he's on your team, it'd be hard for me to not say Malik Washington. I think he's that gifted. And I know how gifted Dante Moore is and Julian and Nico Meliava. But Malik Washington and Drake Lindsay, man, look out. Like, remember that in 5 years when they're playing on Sundays. So that's the problem. And it's like everybody who was at the bottom got better. Now, everybody at the top got better too.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to see bad ball. And by that, I don't think we're going to see guys just struggle moving the ball. I don't think people are just going to get stoned every weekend. Now, can you sustain or hold up against an Iowa run game, against an Oregon explosive offense, against the best defensive front in the country, I think, in the Oregon Ducks? Like, can you hold up all game and get the ball out quick and play screen game and, go 4-4-4 and just bleed the clock out? I don't know if you can do that for 4 quarters against the Ducks, but I think it's going to be, for a half. And if you get a turnover, you get a sudden change, you get a special teams. Yeah, man. So that's why, for at least selfishly as a broadcaster, there's nobody I look to in this league, and I'm saying, I got to go there. Yeah, and as a broadcaster, sometimes you do that. Like, send me to Northwestern. Yeah. See what Chip's doing and Aiden Childs and this offense, and one of the most challenging schemes to go against defensively.
It's fascinating. Yeah, it's fascinating.
Agreed.
So, Yogi, what do you think about Indiana? Because they're that team, of course, we all know the magical season last year. I just feel like there's still this we don't know factor with Indiana. We know how good of a
everybody's
coach
waiting for the other shoe to drop every single game with them.
Where is your view on them at this point?
Oh, I think they're awesome. I was there in the spring. I'm calling their game week 3 against the Western Kentucky when Tyson Helton, Clay Helton's brother, brings his team to town. And I'm driving there tomorrow. I came out of spring and I was like, oh boy, they physically look better than they did a year ago. Physically. So
that's scary.
You look at it, their 2 edges they get out of Kansas State, 6'5", 280, right? 6'3", 250, and then they bring back Stephen Daly, who at the end of the season was the most impactful edge rusher in the league. And you might argue in the country because he's a second-team All-American. And because of 5 for 5, they bring him back. Elijah Hardy, to me, is a top 3 linebacker in the league. The secondary, they got to replace D'Angelo Pons, but they look pretty impressive to me when I watch them. Rylan Gandy comes over from Pitt, A.J. Harris, they get him from Penn State. They only got better. to me physically. Now, the question is kind of like what I teased. Fernando was magic when he had to be.
Yeah.
And that to me is part luck, part skill, part system, part, all the things. Part Iowa wants to bring blitz zero, and he's going to throw a slant to Elijah Stratton for a touchdown when Iowa's got a chance to upset him.
Part him.
We know their moments, so it's not slowing down. And then you look at recruiting; they're killing it in recruiting, man. I think Kurt Cignetti, and this might be seen as a hot take, but I don't believe it is. I think he's a modern day Bill Walsh.
Wow.
And I say that because this summer I spent reading Bill Walsh's master's thesis from 1952 and dissecting over 200 pages of it. And I just read this book that just came out saying Bring Your Own Pencil, which is his philosophy detailed around modern business and leadership.
Okay.
Great reads, both of them. And as I was reading it, I was like, oh, the way he takes care of his coaches, the way he runs practices, the efficiency of his scheme,
right,
on and on and on. And he's done it with a one-year quarterback every year since the pandemic season.
Yeah.
And he's killed it. So I believe that. And this is a team that I don't think mentally they're going to flinch. I don't think they feel pressure like a lot of defending champions do. And it's because of him. So they're going to be right back in the mix of it. I love the edge of him. He's a Pennsylvania guy, so I'm always going to, I always get excited when I get to see him and talk about Pittsburgh and West Virginia and all those things. Then you lay in the schedule. I mean, they're going to be undefeated by the time they go to Ohio State, or they host Ohio State, I think. And then what happens? We'll see.
Well, Laquana's pride and joy, it's Yogi Roth. Yogi, we're going to really look forward to having a weekly conversation with you as we traverse through this college football season. Man, we are ready to go. The juices are flowing. We cannot wait, and I know you can't either.
Yeah, hey, back at you. As always, keep kicking butt. Congratulations on everything you've built. Looking forward to talking to you pretty much every week. I know we'll have to change it up in week one because we got games on Mondays. But
yeah, I know.
We'll make it work, brother.
We'll make it work. I know we will. Chill out. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Take care. There he goes, the great Yogi Roth. We call him the governor here on The Drive. Sports Animal EUG is all of our socials, sportsanimalEUG.com. Live in Klamath Falls, in Roseburg, in Newport, and in Eugene, adding on more stations next week. And some big announcements later on this week as well as we move on through. All right. One more segment real quick. Portland Fire win on Diana Taurasi night. They retire her jersey. We love retired jerseys. And the Portland Fire ruined the party for the Phoenix Mercury when we come back on the Sports Animal.
1050 AM, 1029 FM, and the SportsAnimalEugene.com. Other stations can say they cover the Ducks and Beavers, but we bring the receipts. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
When you're in Rome, you visit the Colosseum. When you're in France, you visit the Eiffel Tower. And when you're in Eugene, you visit Tracktown Pizza, Eugene's best pizza and a Eugene cultural icon for over 40 years. Tracktown Pizza has 2 locations, across from the U of O campus in Eugene and on 58th and A in Springfield. Tracktown Pizza, the best pizza in town. Call 541-284-8484 or visit tracktownpizza.com.
Men like to get the most out of things. We expect results when we hit the gym, and we expect to finish our weekend to-do list. We also expect ourselves to never slow down, even when some things start to get a little harder. Low testosterone levels might be slowing you down. That's when Oregon Man Clinics step in. Sharpen your focus, regain energy levels, and improve your love life with treatment options tailored to you. Get the most out of being a man. Visit us online at our Springfield, Bend, and Albany locations.
In school sports, it's easy to see the wins, the moments that make headlines. But there's so much work that goes unseen for any of it to happen. My name is Phil Risen, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Throughout the country, athletic administrators dedicate countless hours to making life-changing opportunities possible for student athletes through sports. Their sacrifice is fueled by the belief that every student can grow and deserves their time to shine. On behalf of the NIAAA, we want to thank every athletic administrator for your tireless dedication to providing 7.8 million students across the country a path to a better future.
This message presented by the NIAAA.
the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
As a parent, you said you'd never give up a convertible. Wow. The van even has its own back. You said you'd never schedule your life around a stuffed animal. Nobody panic. Bun Bun is still at daycare. And never put them in harm's way. I'll be right back, little man. Just gonna pop in the store for diapers. But never happens. Temperatures as low as 60 degrees can be deadly for children left behind. So always bring them with you every time you park the car. Stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I'm Ohio Sheriff Christopher J. Hilton. Criminal networks are stealing billions of dollars through social media, phone calls, and texts, posing as people you trust. They pressure and demand money or personal information. Don't fall for it. If something feels wrong, slow down and verify. Hang up. Don't click and never send money. If targeted, contact law enforcement. Protect yourself and protect your family.
Learn more at sheriffs.org/stopscams. A public service message from the National Sheriff's Association.
Don't change the channel. Your radio might explode. Okay, not really, but you miss a minute of the drive, you might miss something, well, spectacular.
On we go.
The Drive is back on 102.9 FM and 1050 AM. The Sports Animal.
Your Portland Fire took care of business. So I kept saying Phoenix, the Mercury. It wasn't the Mercury. It was it? No, it was the Mercury. Okay.
Yesterday, yeah.
It was the Mercury. All right. So I'm looking at the wrong schedule. Diana Taurasi got her jersey retired, and I'm okay with it in the pro ranks, not so much in the college ranks. So how are you going to do that in the college ranks? I think Beebs brought up a great point the other day when we were out at Pine Ridge on Friday. By the way, welcome back to The Drive. Thanks for hopping in. Quick segment. We go to the top of the hour. Is do a ring of honor instead of retiring a jersey number in college.
I like it. Yeah, I'm with
it's better because you don't have enough jerseys, especially in football. So the Fire rained on the parade. 4 of 6 for the Fire. They're en fuego. So they are on fire. The Fire are on fire. Next hour, Kurt Cignetti. We talked about him a little bit with Yogi Roth. If you just missed that, go back to the podcast. Marcus Mariota, some other preseason injuries. I think the NFL preseason needs to go away. We'll talk about that. And Javi Baez, kid, hits home runs. Whatever. I don't know. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
Sometimes they're right.
Rest my case.
Sometimes they're wrong.
You want answers. The truth. You can't handle the truth.
But no ears were harmed in the making of their disagreements.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Millions of Americans are glued to their TV weekly, watching a sport they love. Come and relive your childhood at A&J Sports Cards. They have a wide variety of sports cards and memorabilia. Eugene's home for collecting is A&J Sports Cards. Whether you're looking for the stars from the past or the present, you'll find them at A&J Sports Cards. They are here to meet your hobby needs. That's A&J Sports Cards, 1478 West 6th Avenue, 541-343-5561.
Don't give wildfire a path to your door. Prepare your home and yard before fire strikes. Clean your roof and gutters of leaves and debris. Limb up trees. Space those plants. Cut your lawn short, and if possible, keep it green. It's called defensible space, and it works. Go to keeporegongreen.org to learn more.
Even though the weather is getting warmer, many people in our community are still vulnerable and need your help. Raven, Radical Assistance for Vulnerable Eugene Neighbors, is seeking donations to help those who need it most. Raven is asking for help with water bottles, raincoats, socks, shoes, blankets, tarps, and camping gear, or even a direct cash donation. Donations can be made at Raven distribution sites or via GoFundMe. For more information, visit our website, raveneugene.org. That's RAVEN, Eugene.org.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew. So here we go. First day on the job. You got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
KORE, Springfield, Eugene. I'm Steve Mims. You can listen to me on The Drive weekdays from 3 to 6 on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Live on all the socials, Sports Animal EUG, the Sports Animal Audio Network, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can see our smiling faces. Wave to the kids. Hello. Hello. Also, our good friends, our new friends in Douglas County, 1490 AM, 92.3 FM, giving a lot of love to the Score in Roseburg, Canyonville, Myrtle Creek, Winston. You've been to Winston. You know Winston? Wildlife Safari. It's awesome.
No.
You ever been? You haven't been to Wildlife Safari?
No.
Dude, we need to go on a road trip. We need to do the show from there. We can have like giraffes on the air.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's spectacular.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's on the way to the coast out
What's
there.
your favorite animal, Danny? I don't know.
What's my cheetah?
A cheetah?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
I had no hesitation right there.
No, you knew it.
Yeah, wildlife.
Chocolate or vanilla ice cream?
No, I don't do that.
No, you're not going to be a quarterback for Dan Lanning then. Apparently,
then you know what? I am 5'8"
the
nothing,
hesitation.
and yeah, I'm never going to be a quarterback for Dan Lanning. Oh my gosh, I missed out. So I'm going to see Coach here in about
decisiveness.
An hour. Yeah, have
Important.
to try. Thanks for tuning in wherever you're at, and thanks for hanging out with us in Newport as well, and up the road, up and down the coastline in Newport, which I think is beautiful right now. The weather is, we got to still get rid of some of the smoke. So fortunately, I've been reading, I don't know if you've been keeping up on the wildfires, but fortunately, a lot of them are fairly well contained, and hopefully we don't get any more lightning strikes to spark more fires. We're almost through the end of this. Weather's starting to cool down a bit. We did not come out of this unscathed. Almost got through August, but then it didn't turn out great. But hopefully, health and home, people are okay throughout our state. We think about them, those that lost some and devastating, fires that were in Central Oregon, Eastern Oregon, and up near the Portland area and Washington as well, our neighbors to the north. Just hope you make it through. Oregon Man Clinic's hotline open for you. Open phones for the last hour. No guests the last hour. It'll just be you and Baby J and myself. I'm Danny. Right over there is Justin.
Hello.
877-844-3484. It's toll free. The Oregon Man Clinic's hotline at 541-844-3484. Live from the Bigfoot Beverages studios. Big week this week. Tomorrow on the program, Justin Stark, who's from Thurston High School. Zach Neal from Duckswire is going to join us. So we'll have a couple of guests. We'll talk a little high school football. We'll dive more into the Ducks. And are there questions coming out of fall camp? I don't know. There might be. We get closer to the season, We'll start seeing what the depth chart looks like for Oregon and Oregon State, and we'll start to divine some things.
Well, we're going to start getting those depth charts with 3 or 4 ors. So it'll say starter, and then the backup will be 4 players with an or.
That's Dan Lanning. And actually, this does not go just Dan Lanning. This goes back a ways for Oregon. They would go or. They would put a slash or, which I'm fine with. Do you really, when you sit down, do you really look at a depth chart and go, oh, well, wow. Except if somebody's injured.
Or if
obviously.
you're a play-by-play person. Then you want to know, right?
That too.
You want to know what to focus on.
Well, you always have a 2 deep, though. Whenever I filled out a chart.
Unless it's 3 people that says or.
I would have a 3 deep. So if I was in skill positions, I literally would have a 3 deep.
You'll have every player that's on that
Pretty much
position
there.
group. In that type of position.
Line, it would be, I would have at least 2.
Right.
But or actually, the most I
You
would
have to get a
is 2.
producer to help you, that third offensive lineman that comes in the game to snap the ball, to get some info.
You know what that is. You know what that's all about.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us, kids. So Kurt Signetti, who we talked about with the great Yogi Roth. If you missed Yogi Roth or you missed the general, Jeff Oliver, in the first hour as we helped announce Tracktown USA is going to be hosting the 2028 Olympic trials at the end of June in 2028 before the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, the Olympiad in LA. That will be back on the podcast when we're done with the program. Baby J will upload that. You can go find us wherever you pod on the drive. It's actually Sports Animal EUG is what you want to look for. Sports Animal EUG, and all the socials. We got you covered like a blanket. So you get out there and you can subscribe. It'll go right into your inbox if you subscribe to it, so you don't have to search for it anymore. Kurt Signetti comes out and has comments about Notre Dame. You got to help me with this because Kurt Signetti, I can't keep up sometimes with Kurt Signetti. I love him to death. Listen, he is a breath of fresh air. He is exactly what college football has needed. A grumpy, just steely-eyed, no nonsense. He is exactly what we need in college football.
He's exactly what we didn't know we needed.
We didn't know it
3
before.
years ago. We didn't know who Kurt Signetti was.
See, he is, to me, he's a funnier Bill Belichick. He's a funnier Bill
Let me
Belichick.
just absorb that for a second.
So Bill Belichick hated dealing with the media.
He did.
Kurt Signetti understands what the media is, and so I think I'll use the word, he manipulates the media in a very, very proactive way for his benefit.
He is better with the media, although I think that Bill Belichick has one of the greatest lines to ever come from a press conference, which is
one
we're
line.
on to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
To me, that's one of the, I use that in my everyday life. I'll say if it's something that it went terribly and I didn't like the way that went and I just want to move on, we're on to Cincinnati.
But Bill Belichick hated
the media.
And he could not hide that he hated the media. And I want to talk about Kurt Signetti.
I do too.
This being a Bill Belichick.
I know, I
diatribe.
do too.
So
I'm just trying to absorb whether or not I thought that there was some comparisons.
you could
there.
disagree with that.
No, I think there are. I mean, they're very clearly guys that they have a scheme. They care about football. But I think you put it on the head is that I think Kurt Signetti knows how to use the media a little bit more.
There you go.
And he has his one-liners. So the reason why he was in the news for comments on Notre Dame, which was, of course, you remember that they have played. They, as in Indiana, under Kurt Signetti, has played Notre Dame. Do you remember when that was?
When he was at James Madison, right?
No, at Indiana. He has played Notre Dame.
I don't remember when that was.
I believe it was the first ever college football playoff game in the 12-team format.
Okay.
It was either the first game or the second game.
I blocked it out in my head.
Well, it's easy to forget because at that time, Indiana still felt like this weird story of like, okay, well, they didn't play anybody that year and they played Ohio State and they didn't do well against them. And then they played Notre Dame in that game. And it was sort of Notre Dame's definitely the better team here, but okay, maybe Indiana's better than we thought. They're not all that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was asked about playing a game with them. He said he would play them, but they ought to come to our place twice. We'll go up there once since they're not in a conference. So I thought that was interesting.
So see, there you go. He's throwing a dart.
He knows how to throw some shade. Absolutely.
He threw a dart right there. They're not in a conference, so they've got to come see us twice. We'll go see them once. And it's not like they're that far away from each other. Bloomington and South Bend is not that far away.
No, it's in state.
Well, but okay. All right. So
It's
there's
in a not very big state. Is that fair?
Yeah, Indiana's.
Well, sorry. Okay, let me qualify this. I come from Alaska. It's
Okay, well,
by
all right.
far the biggest state.
Well, you lived in Alaska. You don't come from Alaska.
This is an interesting question. So where do you think that? When you say I come from this place, how do you determine that? I've had a really in-depth conversation with somebody about this, and they have a definitive answer, which I may or may not agree with. But
So,
I think
by
it
the
is
way,
interesting.
just so you know, just geographically,
We're going to
Just-
divert
I
from
just-
sports here for a
no,
second.
No, I just want to say it, but I just want to say, so full transparency, it's a 3-hour, 15-minute drive between Bloomington and South Bend. Not necessarily. It's like from here to Seattle, a little bit longer. So it's not geographically too wide a span, but it's not insignificant, but it's not significant in terms of the specter of college
football, yeah.
With Oregon or anybody else traveling to Rutgers or Maryland all the way across the country, 2,600 miles. So let's put that out of the way. So to answer your question, I consider myself a native Chicagoan because I was born in Wheaton. So where I was born is where I feel that's where my roots started. And I'll just say, so my daughter Abigail, she was born in Garden City, Kansas. She didn't grow up as a Kansan. She grew up there, 18 months she was in Kansas. But she's still her birth certificate is from Kansas.
But if she was asked, where are you from?
She would
not say Kansas.
She would say Eugene.
There you go. So there's something else there besides just where you're born. The person that I had this conversation with originally said it's where you get your driver's license, which I thought was interesting. I think that's an interesting point because
but even if you're there for a year, that's where you get your driver's license. That's it.
There's some flaws clearly, but I think there's some validity to that because for me at least,
I'm following you.
I got my driver's license in Alaska. That's sort of where I lived the most when I was growing up, and I think that if you're getting your driver's license, it's probably going to be in a place where you've lived for a
How long
decent
were you
amount
in
of time.
Alaska?
I was in Alaska for 9 years.
Okay, so in your stretch, you're approaching it close here in Eugene.
I'm almost there.
You're almost there.
Yeah, I'm about the same.
So that's fair to me.
So here's the thing with if you ask me where I'm from right now today,
You
would
would
I
say-
tell you I'm from Chicago because I was born there?
No.
It's a place I've gone back to my entire life. I have family there. I feel at home there. I don't know. I don't know if I could say that because I don't
You'd
have
say
that
you're
familiarity.
Alaskan. You have
I kind
pride.
of say I'm from Alaska, but if
you have pride in
I
the
do.
Alaskan
I do.
roots.
That being said, though, if you were somebody that I just was casually meeting, maybe I'm not in Oregon, right? I would never sell to somebody in Oregon, oh, I'm from Oregon, because I'm not originally. But if I was living somewhere else or I visited somewhere else, if I met somebody in Chicago, I might say, oh, I'm from Oregon, because that's where I've lived for the past 10 years. So I do think it's some interesting sort of dynamics there in terms of where you really feel like you're from. It's something to do with how long you've lived there. It's something to do with what kind of experiences you had. But I just find for me personally, my identity is sort of in 3 different places that I do feel like legitimately are homes for me. So anyways, that's just my non-sports non sequitur for the day.
Sports Animal Audio Network. We're live in Klamath Falls, in Roseburg, in Newport, in Eugene, and adding on Medford and others coming up next week here for a Monday. If you missed Yogi Roth, go back to the podcast. Jeff Oliver as well from Tracktown USA, back on the podcast at sportsanimalEUG.com. That is our website up in the Willamette Valley, but we're very proud to be throughout the state. And thanks to Joey and Josh and others and Steve who have helped to grow this little brand as we will continue to grow it. So it is interesting to me as well, Justin, because when you bring up this whole thing about, your base and your roots, I would say, I would argue that there are more people that have emigrated into Oregon that necessarily grew up or were born and raised in Oregon. And a lot on the West Coast, it's a transitory population.
Everyone's from somewhere else.
Everyone's
and
from
that's what
somewhere
Alaska's like too.
And
Probably
I
even more
love
so.
it because it brings in all these different cultures and influences and opinions. I think it's fantastic.
No,
myself.
it's an amalgamation of different cultures for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. 541-844-3484 is our number in Eugene on the Oregon Man Clinks hotline, toll free 877-844-3484 as well. If you want to hop on board with us, coming up, we'll be talking about Marcus Mariota, who got injured, the backup quarterback for the Washington Commanders. I'll still call them the Redskins, but they're the Commanders officially. And there's been others. Jeremiah Love's banged up with an ankle injury. If you haven't heard, if you're just tuning in Roseburg, you haven't heard us before, but in Klamath Falls, we had this discussion last week on this program about how I feel that the NFL preseason is literally a non sequitur. It is, we should get rid of the NFL preseason for just this issue, is the injuries. And I believe we have a caller on the line at 541-844-3484, the Oregon Man Clinks hotline. Justin.
There you go. We got Steve, who wants to talk about an experience that he just had thanks to us.
Oh, Steve, welcome to the program. How you doing, buddy? Oh, and wait a second.
Good. Hey.
No, wait a second. No, hold on a second. We are not on Sirius XM. This is an experience that we can talk about on the radio without having, bleeping or anything else like that going on, right?
Yeah, I've been trained, so yes.
That a boy. Okay, continue, my friend.
Hey, well, just along the topics, I'm a Portland native and I play for Rose City Little League, so
nice.
That's kind of the most Portland native you can be, right?
Absolutely.
No, I won. Yeah, I won one of the 2-night stays during your big bets.
Yeah.
After about 10 or 12 tries, and we just went there for a Friday night deal, and Missy was so nice, so nice to deal with, and it was a great experience. Had a lot of fun golfing at Ocean Dunes and fishing right there in Coos Bay, and gambling, of course, a bunch, and staying up too late like that, but anyhow, just wanted to call and kind of plug that and thank you guys, because it was way cool.
Well, we're going to do it. We're going to kick it back into high gear for football because baseball kind of waned. So we're going to put it on hiatus for a couple of weeks. So, Steve, you can get right back in and try and knock down Goose every single week the best you can. So I'm glad. So Coquel Casino Resort. So you had a good time. It sounds like you did.
Yeah, and I like what they've done. I was there when it was Mill Casino, and they've changed it a little bit, but it's a nice destination spot, and of course they have all kinds of events. I mean, like I do is watch TV and see all the stuff that comes on.
Absolutely.
But, yeah. Again.
So wait a second. So you said you went fishing. Did you catch anything?
No, but I met a guy that taught me how to do it. I was trying perch fishing and have been trying it for a while. I have caught some perch, but maybe just accidentally. So anyway, some nice people down there, a nice person that came up, and we talked a bunch, and so I know how to rig my stuff now. Anyhow,
that a boy, Steve.
Going on about that.
No, that's fine, buddy. Hey, so really appreciate you as well, support of the program, and we'll get you back in big bets. We're not promising a win, but
hey, one other thing I thought might be of interest.
Yeah,
we were on the way back. We went to Winchester Bay, stopped Umpqua and Umpqua Lighthouse and all that, and there was that ATV, OTV, UTV, whatever it was, takeover, the 4-wheel drive people.
Yeah.
And wow, it was just massive. But there was also a salmon derby going on out of Winchester Bay. And the top fish before we left was like 40 pounds.
Yeah.
And God, there must have been like 100 boats out there.
Wow.
Anyhow, there, live reporting from the coast.
That a boy, Steve. That a boy. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate you, bud.
Appreciate you, Steve.
Thank you. Go Dodgers. See you later.
Oh,
he had
Dodgers. Really? He threw the Go Dodgers in there? What is Beebs? Is Beebs feeding phone calls into us right now?
Let's see a live reaction.
So did he? No, I don't think he.
We got a cheer.
No, we didn't. No,
we got a lot of Dodger fans.
Oh my gosh, we're surrounded. We're surrounded by Dodger fans. By the way, Cardinals up on the Reds 4-2 right now. Orioles in the 7th inning with 1 away, 2 on. 6-4 over Tampa Bay. Cubs lead the White Sox in the Battle of the Windy City, 2-0. Bottom of the first, 1 on, 2 out for the Cubs. And Boston leads Arizona 3-0 in the middle of the fourth. There we go, the update. When we come back, injuries, NFL preseason, hate it. Hate it. Back with that topic on The Drive.
Nothing is too big for the sports animal to handle. That's what she said. You're home for me, Dan Patrick, 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays, and The Drive with Danny, Steve, and Justin from 3 to 6. This is the sports animal.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising. After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know. Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Jansen Beach, Clackamas, Beaverton, Salem, and Eugene. Video Only.
The plans you have for your property need the right equipment. Kubota has reliable tractors, utility vehicles, and mowers to help you make the most of your land, along with strong dealer support. Stop by today to explore our lineup. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0% financing or save up to $3,500, plus a first-year K-maintenance service on us. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer.
Mid-Valley Tractor in Eugene. 40 years, family-owned. Find them at midvalleytractor.com.
Cancer affects all of us. Today alone, 5,370 people in the United States will be diagnosed with cancer. That's why Stand Up to Cancer funds and develops the newest and most promising cancer treatments to help patients today. Stand Up to Cancer wants to provide you with every opportunity to join in this mission. By donating your home, land, or commercial property, you can help Stand Up to Cancer fund innovative cancer research. Donating eases the stress associated with selling a home and can also help lead to the next breakthrough in cancer prevention, diagnosis, and treatment. Stand Up to Cancer makes the process easy, and it may be tax deductible. It will take all of us standing up together to put an end to cancer as we know it. Help us save lives right now. Your home or property could hold the key to the next breakthrough in cancer research. Visit standuptocancer.org/giveproperty to learn more.
They are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
1050 AM and 1029 FM and the sportsanimalueugene.com. Broadcasting from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
It's The Drive for a Monday. Thanks for lending us your ears. We are in the 5 o'clock hour, the witching hour as we call it here. Just about 34 minutes left in the program. Down in Klamath Falls at AM 960 Sports KLAD. In Douglas County, we got you covered. 1490 AM, 92.3 FM. The Score. And on the coast, Fox Sports Newport, 92.7 FM, and the flagship station in Eugene. We call it the Emerald Valley. Live from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios, this is the Sports Animal. Tommy John has passed away. We'll talk about him in the next segment and what he meant to baseball. And honestly, the impact he had off the field. and the surgery that's, you have a surgery named after you. You serious?
I think there's an argument he's one of the most impactful players in sports history.
1,000,000% agree with that statement. I mean, again, he saved. He didn't do the surgery on himself,
Right? Which is the thing.
Okay.
It's so funny.
He
would talk
he was
about
not the-
people asking him about how the the doctor's room,
The
is going out.
procedure, yeah.
exactly. Like, how's everything going? He's like, actually, I'm the one that got the procedure, received the treatment.
Right. Joshua Baez, who's not related to Javi Baez, it was those tongue in cheek. But
He said it was his son or something like that.
No,
I was like,
I know he's
"Oh."
related. No, he's not his son. He's 23 years old.
I know.
Unless Javi Baez had somebody when he was 12, that wouldn't
Yeah,
work.
not great.
No. But he hits 3 home runs in his first 3 at bats. It's all down from here, kid. But we'll talk about
I have
that
a
as
great stat or great number to share about that.
well. Okay, beautiful. We'll listen to that. NFL preseason has been meh for me. I literally, have you watched any NFL preseason, Baby J? I have not.
A little bit when we were in studio. So that's it, basically, is when I'm doing something else and it's kind of on in the background.
It's not, to me, it's not appointment television.
No.
Actually,
it's one of those things where when you're watching it, you almost are like, oh, don't hit him too hard. You don't want to get him injured. Like that kind of thing.
There we go. Jeremiah Love is going to be out. So here's what's interesting with these injuries is how the teams are framing the way it goes. A high ankle sprain, not something you recover from quickly.
Super quickly.
No. It's not considered. So when you have to say something's not considered major, it could be major.
High ankle sprain's one of those ones where it's like you don't want your
don't
guy
wanna
to
mess
get
around.
that. No, if you hear
And
that
especially
somebody
a running back.
It's what I'm saying. If you hear your guy in fantasy has a
Step,
high ankle sprain,
plant.
Yeah, that's potentially weak. Even if you come back, that's not I'm 100% healthy and I'm coming back. It can get easily re-injured. Like it's a problem.
High draft pick Chase Bisnotis, also from the Arizona Cardinals. By the way, Jeremiah Love, running back from the Cardinals. He's out for the year, suffered a torn MCL, and it says puts him on track for an extended absence. Yeah, he's out for the year.
Jordan Tyson out for a couple months, the rookie from the New Orleans Saints.
Jamal Adams ruled out for the season, knee injury. That one, yeah, linebacker from Minnesota.
Yeah, I think that
hurts.
I think it does, and he's a guy that like his reputation has been tarnished to this point. I'm not saying that he's the player that he was when he was in his early 20s. He's not. But I think for the Vikings, they are one of those teams where they know how to use guys. And I think he was one of those players where if he knew how to use him properly, he could make a major impact. So that is, I think, a big loss for them.
So the dreaded groin injury, hate to have a groin injury. Breece Hall suffered one, running back, New York Jets. Could come back in the next couple of weeks. Josh Jacobs, running back, Green Bay, hurt himself in camp, and he will miss the majority of probably all the preseason with another groin injury.
Speaking
just
of
because
groins,
I like saying groin.
I know you do. Speaking of groins, Breece Hall, I should say.
Yeah.
Of the formerly of Iowa State, which we talked to Yogi Roth earlier, which is where he is right now. So he has a minor, it's called, groin strain that he actually injured today.
Okay.
So not even during a game.
And then Chuba Hubbard, another running back, Carolina, week to week hamstring strain. So here's where I'm getting at with all of this. And thanks for tuning in to the Sports Animal Audio Network and The Drive, wherever and however you're out there in Douglas County, listening to The Score, out on the coast, listening on Fox Sports Newport, and down in the basin, as we call it, KLAD AM 960 Sports. Medford coming on next week. So can we please just do away with the exhibition for pro football? I'm okay with it.
Can we
baseball.
do away with exhibitions for literally every sport?
Well, but
what sports do you need exhibitions?
Okay, so
Maybe,
here's the thing.
we talked about spring training.
We talk
baseball.
about spring training for baseball. I'm okay with
I'm
that.
okay with spring training baseball. Anything other than that, I'm out.
How many players have you that have come to your mind have been eliminated for a season because of an injury they suffered in spring training in baseball? Few to little.
Spring training baseball, not a ton.
Few, if any.
I can think of a lot of football ones.
That's where I'm going. is why are we risking this? It's a hard enough game as it is, a physical enough game as it is. And then you're putting these guys flying and with guys that are, fighting for a roster position. They're going all out.
You know what I think
on the opponent.
I think we need on Wednesday. We talked to George Reister. We
Okay.
need to ask him about if there's
Preseason
a necessary
exhibition.
ramp up, how that stuff works.
It's a great
players,
idea.
Do players like
Great
it?
idea.
I think we need to get a player's opinion on this at this point, because I think that's the key that we're missing is if the players feel like they need that sort of ramp up, games that aren't real speed but help you
Well,
get
I mean,
there,
so
you know?
let's and we're gonna get to Tommy John in the next segment, and then Joshua Baez will wind up with baseball here on the drive. I
Lost your train of thought?
I did. I had it right there for a second.
You had to do the reset.
Oh my gosh. So it's more along the lines of if you don't have a preseason, what are you missing? What do you not get out of the preseason except the opportunity to get somebody hurt? Can't you? And I know we've had the argument on this program about simulating a game speed. You can't simulate game speed in practice. It's not replicable. You have to be in the moment, that emotion, that adrenaline. The game speed is going to be different in a real game versus simulating it in practice.
Here's my thought. If we're going to compromise, so NFL wants to expand the schedule still, right? They want to go to, I think they want to go to 18 games, don't they?
Yeah.
So why don't you there's 3 preseason games right now. Just if you're going to do that, which I think they will eventually, just make those 2 games regular season games. Let's not have 3 preseason games and then 18 games, which by the way, I don't know when this is going to all happen. I'm sure they haven't figured out, but it
No,
seems to me
we're going to be
you're going to
playing,
add multiple weeks.
We're going to be playing
the
the Super
season.
Bowl in March now.
I think you're going to have multiple bye weeks at that point. If you're going to play an 18 game schedule, you're going to have each team with 2 bye weeks. So at that point, I'm just make it so that you have 1 preseason game, right? Because then you still get your dress rehearsal. You can get you guys in there and have them be in safe plays. You don't have to worry about them getting injured. You can play 1 series, but why do 3? They used to be 4, right? So we already dropped to 3. So why not drop to 1? If you're going to have it, just do 1.
Just do 1?
Yeah.
You might be
You
able
still
to
make
sell
the
me
money out of it.
You might be able to sell me on that. Might be able to sell me on. I'm still not convinced.
I'm with
All
you.
right, we come back. We'll talk about Tommy John, his impact on baseball. It goes well beyond the field when we return here on The Drive.
1050 AM, 1029 FM, and the sportsanimaleugene.com. Other stations can say they cover the Ducks and Beavers, but we bring the receipts. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
Oh, no.
Wait, ma'am. We're from Discount Windows, the home of no pressure.
Last guy could learn from you.
That bad, huh?
He's pushing 4 years, the same as cash, with installation. Price is so high, it'd take me at least 4 years to pay it off.
What the?
His other offer was no payments for 2 years.
Who wants that hanging over their head? Plus, life happens.
Right?
At Discount Windows, our installation is often a fraction of their price, and we offer 18 months, same as cash, on approved credit.
Spend less, pay it off sooner, and move on with your life.
I love it.
And we have a great selection of Energy Star certified Milgard windows and Milgard doors.
I got coffee brewing.
To throw at that last guy?
Discount Windows, open 7 days a week. We're at 1635 Juniper in Junction City, right behind our old lot. We have your Milgard windows and doors on site.
Discount Windows.
We do windows,
doors,
and installation for less.
CCB 180018.
Men like to get the most out of things. We expect results when we hit the gym, and we expect to finish our weekend to-do list. We also expect ourselves to never slow down, even when some things start to get a little harder. Low testosterone levels might be slowing you down. That's when Oregon Man Clinics step in. Sharpen your focus, regain energy levels, and improve your love life with treatment options tailored to you. Get the most out of being a man. Visit us online at our Springfield, Bend, and Albany locations.
While serving in Afghanistan, I was shot in the head by sniper fire. The fighting was so intense, the medevac chopper was barely able to land. I was given a 5% chance to live. I'm Adam Alexander, and I'm a veteran. Today, I visit classrooms and talk with kids about dealing with life's struggles. I tell them, with a little help and a lot of work, that you can overcome any challenge.
DAV helps veterans like Adam get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
I know that some struggles are big and some are small, but they're all struggles, and you have to learn to get through them. With support from DAV, more veterans like me can live their best life. And as a new father, I have one more reason to keep on keeping on. My victory is being there for the next generation.
Adam Alexander, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Hey guys, Jason McCourty here. As a 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion, people always ask me, what's it like getting ready for the big game? Let me tell you, it's all about preparation, knowing what you're up against, especially when food allergy is part of the game plan. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook, read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
Don't change the channel. Your radio might explode. Okay, not real. But you miss a minute of the drive, you might miss something, well, spectacular.
On we go.
The Drive is back on 102.9 FM and 1050 AM. The Sports Animal.
Last 20 minutes or so of the show here on a Monday. Thanks for hopping on down there in Douglas County. Welcoming aboard our friends at KSKR, KWRZ, 1490 AM, 92.3 FM, respectively, in Douglas County. The Score, otherwise known as The Score, in the Roseburg area. Fox Sports Newport, KNCU, 92.7 FM, and in the Basin, AM 960 Sports, KLAD Medford, jumps on board on Monday on the old train, the locomotive that is The Drive. And we're also on all the socials at Sports Animal EUG and on the Twitter and the Twitch and the YouTube with the live video portion of the program. Yes, you can see what we actually look like if you want to be so inclined. We also welcome the chat there on all those socials, as well as your phone calls at the Oregon Man Clinics hotline at 541-844-3484. That's the local number in Eugene. Toll free for everyone else throughout the state, 877-844-3484. Talk about Tommy John in just a moment. Let's give you a little bit of an update around Major League Baseball. Detroit leads Pittsburgh 5-0 in the top of the 5th. Tampa Bay has taken the lead over Baltimore now, top of the 8th. 1 on, 1 out for the Orioles as they try and come back. Philadelphia leads Miami, and that is in the top of the, it's in the top of the 6th. Cardinals and Reds are tied at 4 in the bottom of the 7th. Atlanta and Minnesota, no score right now. I believe the Cubs are up on the White Sox 2-0 still. Right? I think I got, is that pretty much
correct.
everything? Okay. Got everything caught up. So Tommy John passed away, 83 years old, after the famous surgery, which is named after Tommy John because it was the first time it was performed on anybody, extended his career for 14 years. Pitcher.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's as much as an entire career,
Of some
more than
people,
entire
right.
career for many people.
So Frank Jobe was the one who actually performed the surgery on Tommy John. So people call it Tommy John surgery, but I can almost tell you that there's maybe 85% of the people out there that did not know who the actual surgeon was.
I didn't actually.
So put it in your, so that's a trivia question answer for you. Frank Jobe.
Frank Jobe, Dr. Frank Jobe.
Dr. Frank Jobe.
Actually performed the first Tommy John surgery. Apparently took a tendon from Tommy's right wrist and put it into his left elbow.
I mean, can you imagine
mad scientist
what kind of thought process you had to go through to do that and that it actually worked? And now, folks, Tommy John surgery is like the the bellwether for pitchers that might have a little soreness, or there are actually pitchers that are getting this done proactively.
Right.
Before they even necessarily would need it, because they know that that ligament's going to strain and that they would eventually need it. So they're doing it beforehand, which is absolutely nuts to me. It's like preventative surgery on pitchers.
Right. They're getting it out of the way. It's like your chicken pox. You got to get you have one kid with chicken
Immunization?
pox, and you got to have a chicken pox party. So here's some interesting stats from Tommy John.
Lay it
So,
on me.
like you mentioned, he had 14 seasons after surgery,
Mm-hmm.
2,500 innings. This is back when starters actually went deep. He had a 3.66 ERA. He was second in Cy Young the second year after he came back from surgery. He also had another top 2 finish in 1979. And he, like you said, he played a whole career basically afterwards. He is a 3-time All-Star after that incident.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy. He played till he's 46 years old. So you want to talk about somebody that it wasn't just a small success. I mean, this was a guy that was able to play longer than many athletes that are professionals. Yeah, saved his career and saved many other careers since then. So I can only imagine if you're an athlete and that moment hits where you know at the time, hey, I'm done. Like, there's nothing I can do about this. So I can only imagine that that's why he decided to do what was at the time an experimental surgery, and to be able to have your sport given back to you. And he wasn't particularly old at the time. I mean, athletes have gotten older, I think, as we've gone along, but he was 32 years old. So I can relate to that. I'm 31 years old. And you get to the point where you're kind of like, all right, like, I don't know how much longer you're going to be at your best, right? And you're kind of keep on holding on to that. So he's also, by the way, Danny, the pitcher with the most wins in MLB history that is not in the Hall of Fame. He has 288. Do you think Tommy John should be in the Hall of Fame? I say yes.
Because of off the field?
Both. I mean, this was a guy that was a really good pitcher. He has over
2,200 strikeouts, 22.45, earned run average of 3.34. Here's the problem. He didn't get to 300 wins, but he was close.
Nobody ever is going to get to 300 wins ever anymore.
Okay.
It was a previous standard. I'm with you. I get
288
why.
and 231. He by the way, he played for 26 seasons.
3.34 ERA. Career.
He was nicknamed the Bionic Man because of the surgery. He played for the Indians, White Sox, Dodgers, Yankees, Angels, and A's. 4-time All-Star. The second most wins of any pitcher since 1900 not in the Hall of Fame.
It's second most? Okay, sorry.
That's what it says here.
He was wrong.
He was an opening. No, just trying to set the record straight.
Is the other one like Roger Clemens or something?
Yeah, but Clemens has.
Is it actually
other? No, I don't know. I'm scrolling through the rest of this right now.
It's something like that.
It could be. Very well could be. I mean, he's played in World Series. So here's the other fact here that I think we touched on. He was 10-10 in his first year back from recovery at age 34. And then, so this is in year 2 after the surgery, he went 20-7 with a 2.78 ERA with the Dodgers as they win the NL West and reach the 1977 World Series. And then came back the next year with a 17-10 record with the Dodgers in 78 before he left for the Yankees. He was a left-hander. Left-handed pitchers, man, I'll tell you, Major League Baseball, if you ever, so all those parents out there, if you think, your kid wants to be a professional athlete, if you're a left-handed pitcher, you got a leg up on everybody else. I'm just going to say, if you've got that prowess, good on you. But Tommy John, he was an anomaly because of his career would have been over if he wouldn't have had the surgery. And then he turned it into another 14. So basically, he doubled his career life.
Over doubled,
yeah. 12 years before that, 14 years after that. So 26-year career as a left-handed pitcher in the major leagues. I think if you put, I know you like the word amalgamation.
I do.
is I think if you put everything together and see, this is where I have the problem, by the way. Thanks for listening to the Sports Animal and the Drive, wherever you're at, in Klamath Falls, in Roseburg, in Newport, and in Eugene, is he's more famous for what was done to him than what. No, I'm serious. He was more famous for that than he was for anything sparkling. I mean, if somebody said, give me Tommy John's ERA in 19, I just gave you the stats, but nobody, that doesn't jump out as he wasn't a 30-game winner. He didn't throw no hitters. He wasn't an MVP in a World Series or that. So those are the kind of standards that you have to kind of set to
I'm going to break you down in one sentence.
All right, there you go.
Can you tell the story of Major League Baseball without Tommy John?
No, but it's
he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, no, but Justin, it's because he had a surgery named after him.
But he was also a really good player.
He was a good player.
He was a very good player. And statistically is not a Hall of Famer. I'm with you there. But in terms of his entirety of his career and what he meant to the sport of baseball.
Okay, but that's a difference.
That's a Hall of Famer to me.
So are we going to put, so we could probably
There's
have
other
this
guys
discussion.
probably that we could put
This is where we need, by the way, by the folks in Klamath Falls and Roseburg, you're not hearing Goose this week. He is taking his son to Drake. So Goose would literally, we could say this and then Goose would talk for 20 minutes because that's the kind of, and he would have encyclopedic knowledge and be able to take us all the way down the rabbit hole as far as we want to go. My question would be then is that who do we then not let in? If we're talking about off the field accomplishments, allowing you to be
combination though.
Okay, but see, I agree with that.
And he's a very unique case. I don't think there's other scenarios like this where you can go, well, this guy definitely is, he has some off the field things.
It's a fair point, but I just then who do you eliminate from the conversation is what I would say. Is that so if we're gonna let Tommy John in because we're balancing what his impact was off the field, and again, he was not the one who performed the surgery. He had it done to him. So do we put Frank Jobe into the Baseball Hall of Fame because he was the guy who
player.
Okay, but
maybe if you can find the scalpel, you can put that in. It's a museum, right? I'm sure you've been.
So
put it in the museum. So, by the way, great visit, excellent visit.
Okay,
everybody should go to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Okay, but you're getting me off my path here.
I'm trying to.
So I know you are, but so what I'm saying is that if I take your theory on this, then why aren't we putting Frank Jobe? Because he revolutionized. He literally gave probably hundreds of players more life playing Major League Baseball and making an impact on the game by that surgery.
I'm fine
by
with putting
revolutionizing
him in the museum, but what was his batting average? How many home runs did he have? Like, this guy wasn't a baseball player, so you can't put the guy that wasn't a baseball player in the Hall of Fame. Put the baseball player in the Hall of Fame. He had a great career.
Listen, we have broadcasters in the Hall of Fame. They didn't play. We have broadcasters in the Hall of Fame.
With putting
Let's have a medical wing for all these Hall of Fames then.
For the most miraculous surgeries in the history of the sport, I'm with you. I mean, I think that whatever, this is the exact kind of thing that needs to be in the Hall of Fame. This is such an important thing to the sport. Has such an impact on the sport. It has to be recognized.
Justin's on his soapbox. When that happens, everybody just clear the decks. Just stay away. Keep your arms and your legs inside the vehicle as we move through. We'll conclude the program here for a Monday on the Drive.
Sometimes they're right.
Rest my case.
Sometimes they're wrong.
You want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
But no ears were harmed in the making of their disagreements.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.
It kind of sneaks up on you. You're more tired than you should be, a little less focused, a little less motivated. Maybe you've gained a little weight. It's normal. A lot of men experience it, but that doesn't mean you have to live with it. At Hale Men's Clinic, personalized testosterone therapy can help you restore your energy, your clarity, your edge. Real solutions, real results. Hale Men's Clinic. Feel good now. Curious about your levels? Walk into Hale Men's Clinic in Eugene, Bend, or Roseburg for your free testosterone test today. More info at halemensclinic.com.
Almost every car made over the last 10 years has a camera. Did you know that when you replace a windshield, the camera needs recalibrated? If your glass provider doesn't fix the camera, you could have issues with safety features like forward collision alert, adaptive cruise control, or emergency braking. Don't trust some guy in a truck to fix or replace your windshield and then have to make a second appointment to calibrate your camera. You need Olson's Auto Glass, 2041 West 7th Avenue in Eugene. Olson's Auto Glass, repairing windshields since 1938.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works.
Call 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107. 800-499-4107.
Consolidated Credit Solutions Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Kansas CSO 0019051. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 892. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation Commission, license number DC83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debt may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action. Actual interest rates, length of program, and monthly payment reductions will vary by consumer and creditor. Yours could be higher or lower. Not a loan company. We do not lend money.
The Amazon's rainforest is being cut down so fast that by 2030, 55% of it could be completely wiped out. The Earth's forests can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Times of transition, whether from a sad event or a joyful one, can leave us feeling adrift. Social connections become even more important. Being isolated and lonely can be harmful to your health. It can lead to high blood pressure, a greater risk of heart disease, and early onset dementia. So it's important to build and maintain connections to people whose relationships bring meaning to your life. Try a new hobby, volunteer, exercise, or use your phone or other device to stay in touch. These can be great ways to keep up your social connections and your physical and mental well-being. Visit connecttoeffect.org to see if you're at risk of social isolation and find ways to stay connected. Presented by AARP Foundation with support from United Healthcare.
Nothing is too big for the sports animal to handle. That's what she said. You're home for me, Dan Patrick, 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays, and The Drive with Danny, Steve, and Justin from 3 to 6. This is the sports animal.
The Drive on a Monday. Tomorrow on the program, Justin Stark, Thurston High School head coach, will pop into the program along with our good friend Zach Neal. We call him Cadillac from Ducks Wire, also Ducks Rising, also the Believe in Oregon podcast. I don't know how many other jobs Zach's got. We got a lot of guys like George, dad, husband. He doesn't cook.
Madden commissioner.
Yes. Oh, yeah. He brought, it was a couple of years ago when we were at the Big Ten championship game. He brought his gaming station with him because he was playing in leagues.
Right. When you told me that, my respect for Zach immediately went tenfold. I totally respect that.
So later on in the week, we'll have George Reister on. We'll have our good friend, our dear friend, Angie Machado from Beaver Splits, and also Landon Tengwall, all this week on the program. So appointment radio, kids, from 3 to 6. This is The Drive. The Sports Animal EUG is the socials, sportsanimal.eug.com. That's the flagship station, but we're also on in Roseburg. We're also on in Klamath Falls and in Newport. So thanks for your participation. We will have Dad Joke to end our show as we do every single day. Joshua Baez, 3 home runs in his first 3 at-bats at Wrigley Field. I know you wanted to talk about this. That is quite a sparkling, that is a record-breaking, it is a historic start to a career, which we hope for him is a nice long one. Except he needs to be in a Cub uniform.
Exactly. He's not on the Cubs, unfortunately. He's on the Cardinals. But yeah. I wouldn't say I wanted to talk about this, but it felt like one of those things that it was just like the Cub fans gave him a standing ovation. I mean, this is something that was an incredible feat. If you would have bet $10 on this, I had to look up
Oh, there was a prop bet on this?
No, I'm saying if you would have.
If you
would
would
have bet
okay.
$10 on him hitting 3 home runs in his first 3 at-bats, I had to look up the number. I had to have a translator because the number was so big. I had to figure out how actual the number was. You would have won $7,583,859,285,820.
Yeah, that's why Vegas
$10 bet.
That's why Vegas didn't put it on
Nearly
as a prop bet.
$7.5 trillion. So that's pretty incredible. I mean, I think they would never have paid that out. But the point, I mean,
they never would have put it on there.
Yeah,
they would have put the bet on there.
But it's an incredible feat. I mean, it's always exciting when a guy hits 1 home run in their first at bat, right? You think about some
and against your rival. I mean, the Cardinals and the Cubs are fierce, bitter rivals. So to do it in your rival's home park as well. So the wind obviously was blowing out a little bit.
Yeah, but he hit 2 to left, 1 to right center. So
right-handed bat though.
Right-handed bat. So I mean, this is a really good hitter. Clearly, it's funny. He's a number 59 prospect according to MLB. Yeah, he's top 5 for me now. I'm sorry if he comes in and he has 3 homers his first game. You're top 5 prospect.
Sorry. So
that's my thing on it.
So we are in the bottom of the 3rd, 2 away, runner on 3rd. Cubs lead the White Sox 2-0. And let's go around. Tampa Bay leads Baltimore 7-6 in the bottom of the 8th, 1 on and 2 out. And actually, the Cubs just retired now. And they'll head to the 4th inning there at Wrigley. And Minnesota just went on top of Tampa Bay, I think, 2-0.
Big series over the weekend.
Philadelphia, by the way. Philadelphia, Miami, 4-1. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the Dodgers lost 3 out of 4 to the Brewers.
Yep.
And so now the Brewers have the tiebreaker in that scenario. So that might be coming into play at some point in the National League. So it's fun baseball right now. This is about my favorite time of year in the regular season. Lots of fun matchups. And obviously Cubs White Sox is always good. Have some interstate
crosstown rivalries going on in several areas. So one that's not is coast to coast. The Mets lead the Padres 2-1, top of the 7th, 1 on 2 out for San Diego. Twins just went up 3-0 over the Orioles. So all the Major League Baseball action that's going on, it'll continue through the evening. No football tonight. No Monday Night Football for a few more weeks. You looking forward to Monday Night Football? Because I am.
Always. It's always great. I mean, it's one of those things where, and especially if you're a fantasy player, if you have somebody in the game, then you get to look forward to that one last matchup. I guess there's 2 usually, right, to start the year. So I don't love that.
Do the double header.
I wish it was just 1. I think it's Monday Night Football is supposed to be a special, everybody is watching you type of thing. So I don't love the 2 games at once, but I do love having football on Mondays, and I'm looking forward to it. I kind of wish we did a little bit less of the every day of the week thing. That's why I look forward to Sunday, right? You want to have like a bunch of games on Sunday.
I want to have a discussion when Goose comes back about the whole Wednesday night Thanksgiving week NFL game. Not a fan, even though it involves a team that we root for. All right. So, there we go. How does NASA organize a party? How does NASA organize a party, Baby J?
I don't know. Something about space.
No, they plan it.
All right.
Tomorrow on the program, Justin Stark's going to join us from Thurston High School.
I'll be the second most impressive Justin on the show.
And also our dear friend, Zach Neal. Appointment Radio tomorrow. Thanks for tuning into The Drive in Klamath Falls, in Roseburg, in Newport, in Eugene. For Baby J, Danny, put a smiley face. Someone else says they deserve it. So do you. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
1050 AM and 1029 FM and the sportsanimaleugene.com. Broadcasting from the Bigfoot Beverages Studios. You're listening to The Drive on the Sports Animal Eugene.